after you left, he increased the poison to a lethal dose, thus ridding himself of his creditors.
He did it?
Yes.
Ralph Campbell?
Yes.
And he let me sitting here all these years.
Lizzie, you will be compensated for that time, but I realize nothing the government can do will ever replace those years.
I can get out?
Yes, of course.
I'm innocent.
Paul?
What is it?
That phone call. It was from the police. They found your car and the thief.
Oh.
They want you to identify him.
Identify him?
They say he's your son.
Don't sign out yet, Meg.
Oh, what's up?
The governor wants to see us in her office. The afternoon paper ran a story about Lizzie being innocent. She wants to know how they found out about it.
What's it got to do with us?
Well, somebody must have leaked it. Only the senior officers and Paul Reed knew what was going on. Could you ask Paul Reed to report immediately to the governor's office?
Oh, he's not here. He's already left.
Probably getting out while the going was good.
Come in. Where's Mr. Reed?
He's already left. Quick off the mark, as usual.
Well, actually, he had to leave. His car was stolen last night. The police phoned to say that they'd recovered it.
I see. Miss Bennett told you why I wanted to see you.
Yes.
And?
I don't know anything about it.
The journalist who wrote this article is the one who was here this morning. Did either of you speak to him?
No.
I did, but only in the line of duty. It was Mr. Reed who invited him here.
I'm aware of that.
Well, perhaps one of the women said something.
Oh, how could they? They didn't know anything. Besides, I was watching them all the time.
They might have slipped him a message.
As Miss Bennett said, there was no message to slip him.
Imagine it. That old bastard walking around all these years while I've been stuck in here.
I suppose you're lucky you came good in the end.
Lucky? I was due for me parole anyway. He ain't done me no favours.
Well, at least this way you'll get compensation.
Yeah? How?
For wrongful imprisonment.
How much do you reckon I'll get, B?
Oh, I don't know. Would have been millions for all the years you've been locked up in this dump.
You'd be lucky. They'd charge you board and lodging if they could get away with it. You need to get a good lawyer, Lizzie.
Oh, I'll be all right. Old Davo will look after me.
Davo? Fat lot of good you'll get out of trusting her. She wouldn't even have told you you were innocent if B hadn't forced her into it.
What do you mean?
Tell her, B.
Well, I didn't want to take all the credit. After all, it was Chrissy who broke into the governor's office and had a look at your record. After a bit of persuasion, of course.
When did this happen?
Day before yesterday. During the riot alarm.
Day before yesterday. And you let me sweat.
Well, we had to, didn't we? I didn't want to build your hopes up until I could smuggle the story out. I gave it to that journo with all those papers. I reckon he must have found it.
Why else would they have told Lizzie the truth?
Oh, now, come on, love. What do you care if the screws are a pack of bastards? You're going to be out of here soon.
Stop that. Just to think you did all that for me. Just for me. I'm not going to have any friends like that on the outside.
Well, aren't you going to say anything?
What do you expect me to say?
Well, I don't know. Say you're upset, angry, disappointed, but say something.
I'm all of those things. You know you have an infinite capacity for making me feel like a bloody fool. Imagine having to bail out your own son for stealing your own car.
You didn't have to bail me out.
All right. I didn't have to bail you out. I had to lie for you, and that's worse. And why did you do it?
I needed the car.
You could have asked me.
Would you have let me have it?
Tony, I don't know what's got into you. If your mother could see you now.
Oh, that's right. Bring that up again. Well, she can't, can she? She's dead.
All right, that's enough. I know you miss her, we both miss her. But that doesn't excuse your behavior. I thought when we moved to Melbourne, things would be better.
Better? You take me away from my mates. I've got no friends, no one to talk to. You just come home and stick your nose in a book.
All right, you want to talk, we can talk.
When?
Now, what do you want to talk about?
Well, for a start, there's tech.
Mm-hmm. What about it?
Well, it's so bloody boring.
Paul Reed.
Mr. Reed, Erica Davidson here. I trust the police have returned your car.
Yes, they have. Thank you very much.
Then perhaps you'd drive back to the detention centre. I'd like a word with you.
Well, can it wait until morning?
No, I'm afraid it can't.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll be there in about 15 minutes. Tony, something's come up. I have to go back to work. We'll continue this when I get home, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Paul Reed, Mrs. Davidson.
Thank you. Sit down, please.
Thank you. What's the problem?
I understand it was you who persuaded Noel James to visit the prison today.
That's right. You okayed it.
What incentive did you offer him to come here?
None. The man is a journalist. He probably saw the opportunity of getting a story.
What story specifically?
Look, what's going on here? I went through the normal procedures. The man came out here to lecture the women on running a newspaper. It's as simple as that.
Not quite. Somehow, whilst he was here, he found out about the possibility of Lizzie being innocent.
Well, I didn't tell him.
Somebody did.
It wasn't me.
You realize how serious this could have been if the investigation had not established that she was innocent.
The investigation did establish that she's innocent.
Yes.
Then what's the problem?
The problem is that someone has leaked confidential information to the press from this office. I want to know who is responsible.
I'm afraid I can't help you. Now, look, my job relies on my having the confidence of other people. I cannot afford to betray their trust, least of all yours. But it's the results that count. And if no harm's been done, I suggest that the whole thing be forgotten about.
I have no intention of forgetting it.
That's entirely up to you. Now, look, I interrupted a very important discussion at home to be here if there's nothing else.
Not for the moment.
Fine, I'll see you in the morning.
It must have been him.
He certainly had the opportunity and the motive. Make sure the senior officers do not pass on any more confidential information to him for the time being, just to be on the safe side.
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
Tony? Tony, you there?
Lizzie! Oh, where the hell is she?
Oh, here she comes.
Now, where the bloody hell have you been? I thought you were supposed to be working in here this morning.
I've been reading the paper.
And where'd you get that? Mrs. Jackson gave it to me. I reckon I could get anything I like in here now.
Well, I should hope so, since you're seeing as how you shouldn't be here at all. When are they letting you out?
Mrs. Davidson said we've got to wait for the red tape.
Yeah, front page, eh, Lizzie? They'll be wanting to buy your live story next.
Do you reckon? God, I could tell them a story or two.
So could I.
Yeah, not as good as the one the screws make up, but listen to this. Mrs. Davidson, Governor of Wentworth,